right? Amazed. They're going to be what? Taken back. Right? Because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Yahushai, it shall not be inhabited. Right? But it shall be wholly desolate, emptied out. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Right? Speaking about the other nations. Okay, when they see the destruction of what? America. Put yourselves in array against Babylon. Round about. All ye that bend the bow. Right? Shoot at her. Spare no arrows. And what are them arrows? Them arrows are them missiles. Right? For she have sinned against the Lord Yahushai. Right? So the missiles are going to be what? Shot forth throughout what? Different parts of the earth. Through all these other nations. Iran. Okay. Korea. Okay. Pakistan. All of these nations are going to get involved. Right? And shoot their missiles eventually. Right? Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are falling. Okay. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her. She hath done as she hath done, do unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, which is what? The worker. Right? And him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest, for the fear of oppressing the sword. Where he shall turn every one to his own people. And they shall flee every one to his own land. And that's what's going to happen when America's destroyed. You're going to have these nations, what? Fleeing to their own land. Right? Bear me just a minute. Let's get that. Bear me just a minute. Go to Revelations 18. Right? This is Revelations 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a voice, a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. His fallen has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And it tells you that in Isaiah 13. The birds were going to be dwelling there. For all nations have drunk of the wine of our wrath, of our fornication. What's that? The philosophy, democracy, the deals they've done. Right? That's them nations drinking of the wine of our fornication. Right? The fornication was a democracy, was her ways. Okay? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Right? And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? So all these other nations, they're made rich off America. It's their cash cow. Where to get rich. Right? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Right? And this was a warning. And how do you come out of America? By fleeing what? The ways of America. The philosophies, that wine. That's how you come out of America. Right? For our sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Right? Because the angels have what? Marked it down. And our sins has what? Reached unto heaven. Right? Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins and receive not of her plagues. Because that's what America pushes out, sin. And wants you to be encaptured in it. Right? And that's our kryptonite. What? Sin. Right? Reward her, even as she rewarded you. Right? Double unto her, according to her works. In the cup which you have filled to her double. What was that cup that we had to drink of? Slavery, oppression, robbery, murder. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow, give her. That's what's been commanded. For America to be given a lot of torment and sorrow. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I no widow shall see no sorrow. Because America has not been touched, has not been defeated yet. But America is going through that sorrow. Right? And when you go into that word queen, it goes into whore. Why? Because America has slept with these other nations. Right? America's that filthy whore. Right? That slept with many men. Right? And when they shall see, bear me just a minute, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. And when that says that, you've got this woman shaking her head. She's probably a whore herself. Right? Walking around like a whore. Bear me just a minute. Therefore shall our plagues come in one day. Death and mourning and famine. One day this is all going to come in. One day. That's why Yahushua told us to watch. Right? And famine. And she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahushua who judgeth her. So these things are going to happen. There's no if, buts and maybes. It's guaranteed. Right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. Right? So they're going to cry, they're going to lament for what? America. Because they're not going to be able to make any merchandise. Right? For no man buyeth their merchandise. The merchandise of gold, silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple, and silk, and scarlet, and tying wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and brass of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, because America is rich within all these things. America has what? Many delicacies, right? And most of them delicacies were stolen from what? The other third world nations. That's why they're known as third world nations, because Esau went there, robbed, raped, and pillaged. Right? Everything that didn't belong to him. Right? That's how he gained all these what? Resources. And he's still doing that today. Right? And most precious wood. And brass, iron, and marble. Cinnamon, odors and almonds. Right? And frankincense. Wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. Okay? Which are those that are in captivity. And those that have what? Got the chip, those that take the chip. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Right? In other words, COVID is after. Because everything Esau's laboured for, that's going to be taken away. Right? I'll depart from thee, and all the things that were dainty. Dainty means rich, good, pleasant to the taste. Right? And thou shalt find him no more at all. So it's all going to be taken away. Right? Everything Esau's laboured for, it's all going to be taken away. It's all going to go when their missiles hit. And whatever's left, we're going to have that. Right? Bear me just a minute. Verse 15, and the merchants were of these things were made rich by her, shall stand afar off. So right now you've got nations making merchandise and that are rich of America. Right? Shall stand afar off for the fear of atonement, wailing, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour, right, so great riches are come to naught. 1 hour. All them riches that Esau tried to attain are going to come to naught. Right? And that's why we focus on the spiritual things. We're not focused on the things of this world. Because we know everything's going to perish. Right? And every shipmaster and company in ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like this great city? So America, yes, it's still known as a great city. It has power over what most of these nations, including what, the EU. So it's known as what? A great city. America has what? The influence. So it's known as a great city. You have influence, that's what known as great. Okay? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city. Right? Wherein they were made rich by what? The ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. 1 hour. Made completely desolate, completely. In 1 hour. And that's what we want. Rejoice over her, O thou heaven, ye holy apostles. Right?